So our next piece we're going to talk about is the HITEC Foundation. So HITEC is really excited. They've created a philanthropic arm, extending the service to the next generation of leaders. And so for those of you who are not familiar with the HITEC Foundation, the mission is simple, right? It's to support Latinx students as they begin their careers in technology and propelling them forward, right? Being coaches and mentors and being there. This summit is an example of just that. All of us sort of are helping each other out, talking to each other, offering advice, connecting, staying connected, big thing. So this year, HITEC is awarding, and Omar mentioned this earlier, $5,000 scholarships to Latinx students. That's amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you. We are excited. We're going to hear from 3 of our HITEC scholars today, so prepare to be inspired. I am going to introduce to the stage Jessie Cortez, who is our HITEC board member, newest HITEC board member and global. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Don't come up yet. Well, you can, hold on. Jessie is our newest member of the HITEC Foundation board, and he's also a member of the HITEC board as well. Jessie Cortez is the, let's see where you are here. Sorry, I can't, oh, sorry. He is the head of diversity and inclusion at Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. And of course, I have to share a fun fact.
Uh-oh.
Get ready for this one. Okay. This one's good. He's not a runner, I swear, he's not a runner. So, he played minor league baseball.
I did.
Pretty impressive. And he did radio play-by-play for the Texas Rangers. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to welcome to the stage Jessie Cortez.
Officially now. Is it working? Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Sound check. Good? Well, yeah, so I did do some play-by-play for the Texas Rangers in Spanish broadcasts, actually. It lasted about a week, and I figured out that probably wasn't for me, but I did get a chance to meet A-Rod and Pudge Rodriguez and Rafael Palmeiro and a bunch of other athletes while I was there, so it was actually a really good experience. Taught me a lot. Well, thank you very much. So first, Liz, great job. Can we give it up for Liz for doing such a good job as an MC? And we've had a great round of speakers already thus far. And we've been able to sort of exercise our minds a little bit with some thought-provoking discussion today. And as Liz mentioned, now we want to focus on our scholars. As part of the foundation, we want to contribute to the push-up mentality that we continue to carry as part of HITEC. And so what better way than to be able to share the stories from the scholars themselves in the lives that we're impacting as a community of HITEC leaders. And so when they asked me to be a part of this discussion, they said, you know, we want the HITEC scholars to be able to share their story and what they're doing. And so they asked to see if I would want to be a part of the panel. And for many of you that may know me, I'm a bit of a storyteller. And so for me, it just made sense to be a part of this and to share their story with you as well. And I think I actually kind of responded like my 3-year-old nephew would have, yeah, when they asked me to do it. So I was excited to be a part of this. And so at this time, I'll ask the scholars to join me on stage, and we'll get started, and hopefully we'll get a chance to touch a little piece of your heart and share with you how you can all help contribute to our push-up mentality. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Isabel and Jimena. So I think what we'll start with is I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves. Maybe share with them, give them your name, give them what part of what you're studying, what university, and then also tell them what part of the world your family hails from. How about that? Maybe we'll start with you.
Yep. Soy Jimena, and I study information system and technology at the George Washington University. I was born in Peru, and we moved here in 2001. And I am a rising senior and look forward to graduating next year.
Good. Juan?
My family is from El Salvador. I was born in El Salvador as well. We moved when I was 13 years old, and I am a freshman at Virginia Tech, and I'm majoring in computer science.
Hi, my name is Isabel Gallegos. I'm a rising sophomore at Stanford studying computer science. My mom is from the Philippines. My dad's family has been in New Mexico for generations, and I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So we had a chance to connect earlier this week, and we've been spending time on the phone together, obviously to get to know each other. But when we had an opportunity to really spend time face to face, what I enjoyed was really seeing their faces light up when I asked them to talk about their story and to talk about the support system that they have back home, and how HITEC really in this opportunity, right, to be scholars and for us to provide them support has really begun to sort of change their lives. So, but before we get to the story itself, I want each of you to kind of share with them your own personal perspective, not the canned professional answer, but the personal perspective about why you love technology. Why is it so important in your life?
Well, for me, I was just an inspiration. Like, I was already inspired by my father, and honestly, I feel like I am following his footsteps, and it really means a lot to me to be able to, just finish where he left off. He didn't get to, finish school, and also I think it's really interesting, and I like that it includes like critical thinking, and I feel always really challenged since never born.
Yeah. What about you, Juan?
So what I like the most about technology is how the industry is so big, and it's like it covers an umbrella of many other industries. It's not only technology, but technology is in every other field, and I just like how you're able to apply your knowledge to many other fields. So that's why.
Isabel?
At like a personal level for me, when I was growing up, I really liked puzzles and problem solving, so I think that technology fits in really well with that. I think that it's just inherent, especially in computer science, you're always problem solving, so I like that. But I also agree with Juan. I think that the applications of technology are so broad and they have the power to affect so many people. And so I think knowing that I have the potential to have that big of an impact, I think that is really meaningful to me.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your backgrounds, your story. Growing up, what was it like for each of you, and what support did you get from your families to now pursue this technology track in school?
Well, definitely moral support. They honestly, like, the parents were probably like, my cheerleaders. They always wanted the best for me, and I guess, you want me to share my story?
Yeah, please.
So coming into the United States 2001, it was a little bit hard because you kind of have to blend in, like Peruvian, you have to like blend into American tradition. I think that was a little bit hard. But then once I finished high school, I started to really question, like, what do I really want to do? And I did some programming and website developing when I was 12 years old. I didn't realize it was coding at the time. I thought it was just a hobby. It was something that I really liked, just playing with applications and code. And I believe that I was kind of like really doubting myself prior to college. I didn't think that I was smart enough to, study information technology. Eventually, I cut all that out. Again, my parents were very encouraging, and I started to believe in myself. And that's when I started to enroll. I enrolled into Northern Virginia Community College, and that's where I realized that I love programming. I really like networking, and playing. I really like playing with servers. I really like actually getting really a hands-on experience with configuring servers. But most of all, I'm not sure if you guys, I'm sure you guys have know this organization called Year Up. I joined Year Up, and they have helped me immensely. They have developed me into a professional, and my speaking skills still need to develop, but I believe that they really do empower urban students, just like this organization has done for me. And after that, I graduated Nova, and now I think I'm at my highest potential at this time. I work full-time as an IT analyst, and George Washington is allowing me to also pursue full-time school at night. It's just really inspiring, and I really like to push myself further, and now I know my full potential. And lastly, what really inspires me is that I am able to let my parents know that their sacrifice was worth it.
Thank you. Yes. So Juan, we're going to come back to you here in a moment.
Okay.
Isabel, would you mind telling your story?
Sure. So as I mentioned, my mom immigrated from the Philippines when she was a kid. My dad also didn't grow up with a lot, so they both didn't come from a lot, but they both became engineers. So as the daughter of two engineers, it was pretty natural for them to support me in my interest in STEM. So I think that beyond the support that they gave me in terms of like finding ways to nurture my interest, I think that they set an example for me of how to be confident in what I do, and how to essentially like be a role model and turn back around and help other people. I think when I was in high school, I took some computer science classes, but I didn't really have a good experience in them. I didn't have a lot of confidence, but my mom is also a computer scientist, so having that role model in my life, I think, gave me the encouragement to continue going forward. I think without that, it would have really been easy for me to just choose a different path. And so I think that now that I've had those role models in my life, I think that that's instilled in me kind of this attitude of, like we talked about, like turning back around and helping others. So now I do a lot of outreach with like middle school girls, because I think that that's really important to help them have that confidence too.
And Mom's in the audience, right?
Yeah, my mom.
Could we have Mom stand up?
I think she's recording.
So when we had the opportunity to connect and they shared their stories, as I mentioned, their faces lit up, right? And so Juan, I'm going to have you tell your story too. And I if I could share, I really saw a lot of emotion with Juan too when he shared his story. And so talk about not only just the story itself, but talk about where you sort of draw from your sense of motivation and your sense of inspiration to sort of pursue your dreams, like Isabel and Jimena have mentioned too.
So I guess it's all comes from my parents. My parents, my dad grew up with not a lot. My mom, she grew up with not a lot, and they both succeeded, and they both went to college in El Salvador, and they set a role model for me, like that this is the path that you take if you want to become a professional, you want to study, you want to be a professional in a field. And just my parents have always supported me, like ever since. They don't really know, they're not techie persons, but they don't really know what I'm doing when I'm on my computer. But they've
Sound familiar to anybody?
they've always like supported me financially mostly. Like they got me my first computer, and they when they saw that I could do all this stuff, and I was like, hey, do you want to see what I just did? And they tried it, and then they actually could see what I was doing, and they supported me a lot in that way. And they're still supporting me financially, and they are very excited for me to go to college, and they really want me to follow their footsteps, and like I really want to make sure their sacrifice is worthwhile, and that's why I want to major in computer science, and I'm so glad that they are allowing me to pursue my dream.
Sure. So a common theme that we actually heard, and when we reflect back to even our morning discussion with Annette and Nellie, was this sense of self-confidence, right? And sometimes maybe feeling that you fall into sort of a state of maybe being less motivated, right? And wanting to tackle challenges, et cetera. And one of the things that each of them was able to share with me is that they have gone through some pockets of that activity too, where they felt maybe that they didn't have the confidence or to really sort of aspire to pursue a track in STEM or in technology. And one of the things that I wanted to do while we were here, and it kind of struck me this morning when we were listening to Annette and Nellie talk about how we have to find that source of inspiration, and HITEC and really the foundation and really this community. And so I know I recognize that some of you may be new to HITEC and this may be your first event. Others have been a part of our journey for quite a while. And as we talk about the push-up and pull-up mentality and the mantra that we have, that we want to be that fountain of inspiration, of motivation, right, for folks. And we talk about how, you know, our families typically end up being where we find inspiration and support that really sort of motivate us, right, to sort of seek out our dreams and aspire to do more. And what we view HITEC, and my personal opinion on this, is the way that we view the HITEC Foundation is it's an accelerator, right, that essentially captures and multiplies that effect, because we all have an opportunity to contribute to lift our communities together. And it doesn't just impact numbers, right, because we talk about numbers a lot. And this is why we wanted to bring the scholars, because it's impacting families and real people, right? The real faces of the families and the lives that we're changing. And so every little piece of contribution that we can make, whether it's a word of encouragement, whether it's a $10 donation or whatever it may be. And if you think about the size of the room today, we just talked about some of the largest gathering that we've had at HITEC in history is here today at a summer summit. If we all donated $10, right, that's one more scholar that's sitting up here. That little change can make a big difference and create these ripple effects, which is what we stand for as a HITEC community, right? And so we want to be able to share that. But one thing that I want to give them today that we can all give is I want them to walk away with a sense of encouragement, of inspiration. And so whenever they feel like I'm starting to fall into maybe a less confident feeling, right, that they can think about this moment. So if you would indulge me, I'm going to have you just show a round of support, a loud, strong clap support, so that they remember what this is like. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you. It's okay. So, Isabel, tell me what that means to you.
I think, like, for me, I've struggled a lot. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
So, like, I've struggled a lot with my confidence in STEM. I think it's really easy for me to see the value in other people's work, and it's really easy for me to just, like, downgrade my own work, or, like, to tell myself that I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough. Even if I do have, like, my parents telling me that, like, they've been a huge support for me. I'm so sorry. So I think that I think I can't really explain how much it means to me to, like, have this kind of support. Like, even just, like, being here and seeing all these people who have been so successful. Like, I think, like, every single one of you guys is, like, a role model for me. And seeing other people do that and seeing that they're supporting us as well, I think that that just makes me feel so empowered.
What about you, Juan?
So I think it's really awesome and, like, really inspiring that all of you guys that really have, like, busy lives and you know, you're leading tech companies and are busy all the time, have to answer emails, that you are all here in supporting us, and that was a very warm round of applause, and it was very, very heartwarming, and thank you for that. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So So for me, I believe that when I looked around the room and I saw like love. I saw like, every time I saw like everybody into like, when I look into someone's eyes or everybody's eyes, like I knew that they were just like kind of like saying they were, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like so much encouragement. And it's just, I did get to talk to a lot of you guys, and I found it really inspiring. And it just really moves me to see how passionate everyone is to uplift and contribute, especially when it's hard being like the only one, being pioneers in your field, and that's what I felt like. And yeah, I guess I thank you so much. I really felt it from all of you.
Well, so I know we're down on time here, but again, hopefully that's a call to action for all of us, right? That, I mean, we've got future leaders sitting here, right, that really understand our mission. And I know we've got, plenty of leaders in the audience that obviously believe in you and that believe in each other and all of us. And this is what makes, I think, HITEC really a special organization and a special community. So thank you to the panelists, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Yeah.